In this case of the Genesis photography, my wish is that you come to see, or the person that come to see this kind of small sample of the planet. It's very small, it's just 250 pictures. And I wanted that people that come to have an idea what's pristine in our planet. What is our real world heritage. Not ours on humans. We are not owners of nothing. Our, you say, is always pieces together. And see that this part we must protect. I discovered that us, in this movement that we did, urbanizing, we came out of our planet. We are in another planet. The urban planet is a different planet of our real planet. We have trees, but we don't understand, look into these trees, if there is a male tree or a female tree. If the birds that are in these trees, they are in love between them. The insects that are there, we seem don't see. In each tree, there is thousands of insects. And we don't understand more the life of our planet. And me am part of this. I don't believe that we be going back to live as the primitive societies when we are primitive in our planet, or the beginnings of our society. But I really believe that we must deal different way. We must create another model of life, of consumption, of destruction of the nature to make only us alive, and that we must rebuild back to us and strike back, go back a little bit to our planet. Probably in this moment our life is much more interesting and much more used than it is in the present moment. The things that I did in photography in my life was always concerned with what I believe, what were our model of life, what were ethics. When I was photographing, finished the photograph migration, was a time that we saw very tough things in Africa. Really, the end of the migration, when I finished in Rwanda, was incredible violence. Probably the biggest brutality that was possible to see I saw there. No? And I didn't trust more in the survival of our species. And I started to be sick, really started to be sick. And I started to stop. And it was this moment that my parents become old, take a decision to transfer the farm that we had in Brazil to my wife and to myself. And when I grew up in this farm was more than half of rainforest. I can tell you that I grew in a paradise, real in a paradise. It was incredible, beautiful. Conviviality with incredible amount of different birds, wild animals, and a lot of water, a lot of forest. Was something enormous. And when we received back this farm came from more than 50% of rainforest for less than 0.5% of rainforest. Very few trees. And as not only this farm, all Brazil, all our region in Brazil, and in reality all the planet. To build this modern society that we live, we destroy the environment in a brutal way. In this moment, we receive a dead land with a huge erosion. And my wife, Lelia, she had one fabulous idea, crazy idea at the same time, to replant the rainforest that was there before. And to recuperate all this land in native forest was necessary to plant about 2,500,000 trees. We accepted the challenge, we started the project, and when these trees started to grow, the life started to come back to this farm. The birds coming back, the animals, the water, and we started to live again in a paradise. The life started to come complete inside ourselves. And we started to conceive another photographic project that there born a Genesis idea to go all over the planet, to photograph what is pristine in this planet, and to see the relation of our species when our species lived in total equilibrium with the planet, see the other animals, see the other life, the vegetal life, the mineral life. And all this is alive and very alive. And during 8 years, with total motivation, with total identification, I went for this planet with a huge praise. The only regret that I had, that was too short. 8 years is short. The language of photography is a powerful language. What you do in photography, you don't need the translation in any part of the planet. It's really direct language. Any other language of communication, you need adapt, translate. Photography, not, it's direct. It has this huge power. Sometimes people tell that photographer is an artist, that photographer is a photojournalist, that photographer is anthropological photography. It's nothing of this. Photography, is unique photography.